WWE and On Location are selling SummerSlam ringside tickets at $40,000. We'll let you know the details on that. Plus, Sami Zayn turns down Seth Rollins' offer on Raw and gets attacked by Bron Breakker. Gunther versus Pat McAfee is confirmed for the upcoming WWE Backlash PLE. Liv Morgan is due to take time off from WWE to film a big Hollywood movie. We'll let you know all of the details on that one. Becky Lynch confirms she attacked Bayley backstage at Wrestlemania as a match is set for the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Lyra Valkyria at Backlash. Logan Paul seemingly is Jey Uso's first challenger for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Rusev says he found himself and redeemed himself in the abyss after leaving WWE. JD McDonough returns to the ring after his injury layoff. Indi Hartwell, we got details on her signing with TNA Wrestling. Several WWE talent reportedly found out about cancelled WrestleMania plans from the Netflix WWE Unreal trailer. We got the ratings for Friday's episode of WWE Smackdown on USA Network. 3 new plaintiffs joined the expanded Ring Boy lawsuit against WWE. TNA's plans for Bound for Glory 2025 have possibly been revealed. Several matches and segments are confirmed for next week's edition of Raw on Netflix. Plus, Io Sky is set to be on NXT tonight. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Before we begin, you can see right there at 21,373 subscribers. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and join the ever-expanding WNU, that being the Wrestle News universe, as we get closer to 25k. In addition to that, you can join the WN365 roster. Links in the video description below. You can also scan the QR code when it appears on the sidebar. Speaking of the sidebar, you can see all upcoming watch-alongs and post-shows we've got for May, including WWE Backlash, as well as AEW Double or Nothing. Speaking of pay-per-views and premium live events, let's begin with some high prices for WWE SummerSlam this summer. Now, WWE and On Location are offering a big money experience. The On Location website lists an Elite Plus package for WWE SummerSlam that includes premium front row seating, elite welcome event, tickets to WWE Raw and WWE Smackdown, and more. There is no price listed on the package, but Andrew Badela reports that it runs $40,000 and the limited quantity is sold out. This is from Badela. Here's what he said, quote, confirmed with On Location and WWE, Elite Plus package prices for front row floor centers, TV side for WWE 2025 SummerSlam at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey are $40,000 per ticket. Confirmed they are sold out of this very limited quantity. They include premium front row seating, an in-ring photo op at SummerSlam, private transportation to events, elite welcome events, private section at all-inclusive pre-show hospitality with WWE Superstar appearances by Kevin Nash and more, post-show press conference access and desk photo op, tickets to both nights of SummerSlam, tickets to SmackDown and WWE Raw as well on the 1st of August and the 4th of August and more. The non-center front row is just an elite package and it is priced currently at $32,500 per ticket. They include premium front row seating, an in-ring photo op at SummerSlam, private section at all-inclusive pre-show hospitality with superstar appearances by Kevin Nash and more, post-show press conference access and desk photo op, tickets to both nights of SummerSlam, and more. Of course, this comes after there was pushback of the pricing for WWE tickets for WrestleMania weekend in Las Vegas. Of course, WWE SummerSlam will be a 2-night event on August 3rd and August 2nd at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Now, let's talk about Monday Night Raw last night. Seth Rollins seemed to cement his heel turn on Monday night, allowing him to be brutalized, allowing Sami Zayn to be brutalized by Bron Breakker in Raw's main event after Sami Zayn refused to stand down from Rollins' new faction. Rollins opened Raw with the newly aligned Paul Heyman and Bron Breakker, but was confronted by Zayn after Zayn questioned how Rollins working with Heyman was any different to when CM Punk or Roman Reigns did it. Rollins offered Zayn a favor, saying he could have it arranged for Zayn to go to SmackDown. During a backstage segment, Heyman tried to appeal to Zayn while Breakker was listening in the doorway, telling Zayn he would also be given a guaranteed WWE Championship match. In the penultimate segment of the show, Zayn came out to give Rollins his answer, but ripped into him instead. Zayn declared he will be world champion, but it will not be from any favors from anyone. It will be because I did it my way. I did it the right way. Zayn that said, while he respects and loves Rollins, he says, this is me telling you to go to hell. Braun Breaker's music hit and they had an impromptu match in the main event. Zayn put up a strong fight, but after Breaker leveled him with a pair of spears, Rollins attempted to get Zayn to take the deal. Zayn again told Rollins to go to hell. After Breaker hit a third spear, as medical officials checked on Zayn, Breaker ran around the ring to deliver a fourth. The match was called off, but Rollins hit his former friend with a curb stomp as Raw went off the air. Now, a match was confirmed for WWE Backlash. First, let's begin with an update on former WWE World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. Now, after losing the World Heavyweight Championship to Jey Uso at WrestleMania 41, Gunther appeared on Raw last week to confront both Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, with the ring general taking offense to their comments regarding his loss. Gunther would then proceed to attack Cole, locking him in a chokehold, before McAfee intervened. However, the Austrian soon followed up by doing the same to the former NFL star, choking him out while security and WWE officials attempted to break up the attack. As a result, WWE announced that Gunther had been given an undisclosed fine amount and was suspended indefinitely. Now, it was later reported that the legitimate reason for Gunther's storyline suspension was due to the former world champion requesting time off, and now, courtesy of PW Insider, an update has emerged on his status. According to a new report, Gunther has been spotted in London several times over the last week, with his trip to Europe being the reason for his WWE TV absence. The belief among those PW Insider spoke to in WWF stated that Gunther's suspension will last 2 to 3 weeks, suggesting a timescale for when we can expect him back on WWE Monday Night Raw. Now, as far as when we're going to see him back on television, it looks like it's going to be Backlash at the latest. Gunther and Pat McAfee will settle their differences in the ring at WWE Backlash. Now, as I mentioned during last week's Raw, Gunther took his frustration out on Pat McAfee. This week, McAfee returned to cut an impassioned promo about who he is and what he stands for, pondering the idea that he'd almost forgotten what that was before circling back to his issues with the ring general. He called Nick Aldis down to the ring, with Aldis stepping in for Adam Pearce as Raw General Manager for this week, and told him that he didn't like that Pearce had suspended Gunther. He asked Aldis to reverse the decision so that he can fight Gunther, but Aldis said that he'd spoken to Pearce and they agreed that he couldn't lift the suspension. But Aldis proposed that McAfee could face Gunther in a sanctioned wrestling match at Backlash, to which McAfee immediately accepted to make the bout official. Now, this will be McAfee's first singles match in 2 years, having last faced The Miz at WrestleMania 39, and his first overall since a cameo in the 2024 Royal Rumble match. The NFL punter turned WWE commentator has wrestled 5 singles matches with WWE, starting with the now AEW star Adam Cole in NXT in 2020, and including one lasting less than 4 minutes against Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 38. So that match is official for WWE Backlash. Now, Liv Morgan could be the latest WWE superstar set for Hollywood. Liv Morgan is due to take time off from WWE to film a big Hollywood movie. Morgan became a record 4-time Women's Tag Team Champion alongside Raquel Rodriguez during last week's Raw, recapturing the titles from Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria just a day after they had dethroned them at WrestleMania 41 on Sunday. But she won't be defending the title anytime soon, as this week's Raw saw her in a backstage segment asking stand-in General Manager Nick Aldis for time off. Aldis gave her the time off before Dominic Mysterio asked for his own, only for Aldis to shut the Intercontinental Champion down. According to PW Insider, the big Hollywood movie cited for her time off is a legitimate film project due to be officially unveiled next week, for which Morgan is slated for a major role. Morgan has previously starred alongside Samuel L. Jackson and Uma Thurman in The Kill Room, released in 2023, as well as made a guest appearance on the Chucky series in 2022. She has maintained an open interest in becoming the latest WWE star to make waves in Hollywood alongside her wrestling career, particularly expressing her desire to be cast in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Of course, once we find out what that Hollywood film is, we'll let you know in a future video. Becky Lynch says there's not going to be a whodunit when it comes to who attacked Bayley. After her triumphant return at WrestleMania 41, Becky Lynch shocked the world by attacking Lyra Valkyria on the April 21st edition of Raw, turning heel in the process. Just 1 week later, Lynch kicked off her promo by revealing that she was the person who attacked Bayley and took her out of WrestleMania 41. Lynch blamed her decision on Bayley's attacks in recent years, also criticizing her comments about wanting to be a bigger star. Then Lynch focused on Valkyria, saying that the friend of her enemy is her enemy, Lynch noted that she tried to get Valkyria to dump that bitch. Valkyria arrived moments later, saying that many women in the locker room warned her about her. Continuing on, Valkyria stated that the illusion of Becky Lynch is now dead. The segment ended with Valkyria demanding a match against Lynch at Backlash, even offering to put up the Women's Intercontinental Championship on the line. Valkyria made sure to get the last words in, saying she's no longer interested in being the next Becky Lynch, noting that she is a better person and wrestler than the man is. So this match is seemingly confirmed for Backlash. Logan Paul seemingly is going to be Jey Uso's first opponent for the World Heavyweight Championship. Nothing can beat the shock of Jey Uso's Wrestlemania victory over the ring general Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, but the revelation of Uso's first ever world title challenger may come in a close second. On Monday's episode of Raw, Uso's first challenger for his world title materialized under the name of Logan Paul. Paul took to the mic in Kansas City and, over a sea of booze, reminisced about his own WrestleMania victory over AJ Styles. After his victory, Paul argued there was not much left for him to do in the professional wrestling business except win a world title. Paul beckoned the new world champion to the ring, but before he could finish his sentence, Uso appeared to march down through a sea of supportive yeets. After physically taunting Paul, Uso took to the microphone and promised to silence this noise. Uso confronted Paul and claimed that his feud with Gunther, one that left his twin Jimmy Uso bloody and bruised, set a fire off within him. Uso beckoned Paul to come and get his title, to which the Maverick rolled his eyes. "Here's how this is going to go," Paul taunted. "That title, I'm going to take it from you, and you're going to do what you do best. That is crash out, screw up, and lose that title in less time than you held the Intercontinental Championship." Uso cut off the popular YouTuber's tirade with a succinct super kick for a crowd of adoring yeeting fans. While it seems apparent that Paul and Uso will follow through on their world title program, any further face-to-face segments or matches involving the two have yet to be disclosed. It is likely that their program will take them to Backlash, which is scheduled for May 10th in St. Louis, Missouri. Rusev had some comments after returning to WWE television last week on Monday Night Raw. A new vignette aired for Rusev on the April 28th episode of Raw. In the vignette, Rusev said once he had it all, including a tank at WrestleMania, but he fell into the abyss after leaving WWE. In the abyss, he found himself, redeemed himself, and fixed himself. Rusev said he had an epiphany and was finally free to crush people because he wanted to. "I will hunt the flawed, the arrogant, and those who waste their talent like I did." Rusev said he will hunt, forgive, and fix his opponents just like he fixed himself. Rusev returned to WWE last Monday on Raw, attacking Otis and Akira Tozawa. Of course, Rusev was released by WWE in April 2020. He signed with AEW in September of the same year and went under the name Miro during his time with the promotion. His last AEW appearance was on December 30, 2023 at AEW World's End. He was officially released in February of 2025. JD McDonough returned to in-ring action last night on Monday Night Raw. He returned to competition on the April 28th episode of the Red Brand Show. McDonough teamed with Finn Balor to take on the War Raiders. Of course, with some help from Penta, the War Raiders were victorious in the match. McDonough did do a springboard moonsault in the match, but hit on the ramp side and not on the announce table side, which is, of course, how he sustained his injury back in January. This was McDonough's first match since he suffered a punctured lung on the January 27th episode of WWE Raw. McDonough returned to television last Monday, helping Dominic Mysterio retain the WWE Intercontinental Championship against Penta. Now, this past weekend, we saw a new signing when it comes to TNA wrestling. Former WWE superstar Indi Hartwell has joined the TNA wrestling roster, making her debut at this weekend's TNA Rebellion pay-per-view. In an update from Fightful Select, they've offered some additional details on her signing, including the fact that it's been in the works for at least the past month and was finalized around that time. Additionally, the report teased the company has more international signings they haven't yet announced. In WWE, Hartwell was a former WWE NXT Women's Champion and served as a member of The Way, an NXT faction that also included Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, and Dexter Lumis. The group disbanded shortly after a storyline that saw Hartwell and Lumis get married on screen. Though she did win the NXT Women's Championship, Hartwell was forced to vacate the title after being injured. She moved to the main roster in 2023 as an ally and a tag team partner of LeRae, but despite a couple of shots at the tag titles, the pairing didn't last. Hartwell was released by WWE in November of last year, ending her time with the promotion after around 5 years. She returned to the Australian independent scene last month following the conclusion of a 90-day non-compete clause, and then appeared in the audience of this weekend show to break the news of her signing with TNA Wrestling. Now, this is a really interesting story when it comes to cancelled WrestleMania plans and the upcoming Netflix series WWE Unreal. Now, WWE's upcoming Netflix docuseries Unreal has had its trailer released and it has caused some buzz. Now, during the trailer of the series, a whiteboard, which you can see on the screen currently, was shown with potential WrestleMania matches. From what people have been able to tell, the whiteboard was from a creative meeting during sort of the winter months leading into WrestleMania. Now, Fightful gave a rundown recently of the matches, when and how many of them changed, and in the week following the trailer dropping, Fightful say they've heard from a number of talent. There was some talent that actually approached Fightful and said they'd heard rumors of their matches that came to fruition, but weren't ever approached with them. There were multiple wrestlers listed on the whiteboard who have told Fightful that they found out that they were once planned for a WrestleMania match from the trailer itself. Unfortunately, there were also talent who didn't appear at WrestleMania who were actually listed on the whiteboard. Now, many in WWE say they were surprised to see Asuka's name listed, as it was said that her being back in time was, quote, very ambitious. Now let's go to the ratings for the post-WrestleMania 41 edition of SmackDown this past Friday. As far as the TV ratings were concerned, it was more of a mixed bag for WWE, as the Programming Insider confirmed that the April 25th episode of SmackDown averaged a total of 1.599 million viewers, marking an 8% drop from the previous week's 1.741 million viewers. However, this is still a 3% higher than the trailing 4-week average, which currently stands at 1.555 million viewers. In the 18 to 49 demographic, SmackDown posted a 0.51 number, a 7% decrease from the 0.55 number posted 7 days earlier, but 9% above the trailing 4-week average of a 0.47. However, the main reason why the ratings were such a mixed bag was down to the competition that SmackDown faced on Friday night. Despite having strong numbers that would put them first in network and cable rankings most weeks, a 0.51 number put SmackDown in third place in the cable rankings and fourth when it comes to network telecasts included as well, primarily due to the coverage of the second day of the NFL draft and the NBA playoff game between the Boston Celtics and the Orlando Magic. With that said, SmackDown was able to rank higher than the two NHL Stanley Cup games, as well as the NBA and NFL draft coverage that was streamed on their own respective services. Now, an update here when it comes to the ongoing Ring Boy lawsuit against WWE. Now, the 3 more anonymous plaintiffs have joined the Ring Boy lawsuit against WWE, Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon. The lawsuit was filed by 5 anonymous plaintiffs, each named John Doe, in Maryland, alleging that the McMahons had neglected and failed to protect them from sexual abuse at the hands of WWE ring announcer Mel Phillips while working as ring boys for the company. Earlier this month, the defendants filed to dismiss the lawsuit, with Linda McMahon's attorneys arguing that she had not met nor employed the 5 plaintiffs to her recollection, while Vince McMahon's attorney suggested the plaintiffs had filed the suit in Maryland to take advantage of the Child Victims Act of 2023, despite what they describe as a lack of personal jurisdiction from the state court. On Monday, an amended complaint was filed by the plaintiffs, including 3 new accounts from the anonymously described John Doe 6, 7, and 8. The complaint also names Pat Patterson and Terry Garvin as those to have participated in their own alleged sexual abuse and harassment of the ring boys. So there's more details of this, of course. You can find out all the information in the video description. Now, TNA Bound for Glory. We've got an update when it comes to TNA Bound for Glory. TNA's biggest pay-per-view of the year is Bound for Glory, and the show will take place slightly earlier in 2025 than in recent years. There has been no official announcement about Bound for Glory as of yet, but PW Insider has reported that the current plan is for BFG to take place on Sunday, October 12th. Now, the show has often been held in late October, particularly in the 2020s, with the exception of 2022, and Bound for Glory has been TNA Wrestling's final pay-per-view of the year in recent years, following Hard to Kill, Genesis, Rebellion, and Slammiversary. PW Insider also noted that the May 1st episode of TNA Impact won't be the final live Impact show, with plans in place for further live editions of the weekly series in July, September, and October. Now, TNA's current pay-per-view and TNA Plus schedule for the coming months is as follows. There's Under Siege, which is a TNA Plus special on May 23rd. We've got Against All Odds on June 6th. That's a TNA Plus special. And Slammiversary on July 20th, that being, of course, a pay-per-view. Now, TNA held their latest pay-per-view in Rebellion on Sunday night. Headline moments of the show saw Joe Hendry successfully defend the TNA World title against Ethan Page and Frankie Kazarian, the signing of Indi Hartwell, and Nick and Ryan Nemeth defeating the Hardys for the TNA World Tag Team titles. Now, here's what's on tap for Raw next Monday, live, of course, as always, on Netflix. First, Rusev will make his grand return to a WWE ring, competing against Otis in a singles bout. Notably, this will be Rusev's second match since his last bout with AEW, which occurred back in December of 2023. Also, Also, just weeks after his return, JD McDonough will lock horns with Penta in one-on-one action. And finally, WWE Women's World Champion Io Sky is set to appear tonight live on WWE NXT. Io Sky is set to be part of the April 29th episode of WWE NXT. Jackie Redmond confirmed the news during the April 28th episode of WWE Monday Night Raw. Sky battled with Roxanne Perez and Julia on Raw, saving Rhea Ripley in the process. So that match has been added to tonight's lineup. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. As you can see right there, we're at 21,373 subscribers. So be sure to subscribe and join the ever-expanding WNU. You can also join the WN365 roster. Links in the video description. You can also scan the QR code when it appears on the sidebar. You get your badges, your emojis, and your exclusive members-only content. Appreciate everyone for tuning in, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.